Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the new world champion. In the red, the Terran from Team Liquid. It's Clem. But he's up against the immovable object from Germany, D. Mauer. It's Showtime, the wall. A best of 3 Terran versus Protoss showdown, where we'll see whether Clem's unstoppable force has any difficulty with breaking through Showtime's defenses. Certainly less difficulty than I have in coming up with original ways to beg you for likes and maybe even subscribes. And Jimmy, what are we... I know it wasn't clever. 1,406 likes on this video, on this cast, and I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways. I don't know what else I'd do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. Clem darts in with the Reaper. The Adept takes offense to that, but it can't offend the Reaper enough to kill it, and has to chase back around. Clem sharking around Ghost River for Game 1. Robotics facility on the way. An interesting choice. Not going to go with the kind of expected Blink Stalkers. I think Clem is more than ready to deal with that Blink Stalker aggression. And pretty much anyone but Max Pax has failed to find reliable success against him. Well, in general, but also with Blink Stalkers. So I'm very interested to see what the Robo will be. I think Clem may be a bit suspicious because Showtime didn't even send the Adept out. He's sitting back at home, clearly trying to deny scouting and succeeding, which is some information in and of itself. There's a medevac already on the way for Clem, because of course there is. And he's going to be following up a single Widow Mine and some Marines to slap in there, as well as a Reaper Hellion, just kind of throwing everything he can. And now setting up for the double-pronged attack, literally taking everything he has and sending it at Showtime, because that's how Clem do. All right, round 1. Fight. Really? Reaper gets in, and exactly that moment, while there's a citizen's arrest, and the Reaper is taken down, the drop comes through, the Widow Mine's able to burrow, takes out 1 probe, shield battery online, the Hellion's in the main base somehow, Clem actually losing track of it for a moment, and the Marines will combine into the main. There's no shield battery here, which makes it a little easier to get the damage done, but not easy enough. Looks like a sacrificial probe died on the fire of that Widow Mine. And now we'll be chased down, cleaned up, taken out. 3 probes dead so far. Clem, not finding overwhelming success. He still has the medevac. There's Immortals on the way. That medevac in a precarious position, but without Blink Stalkers, it's very unlikely Showtime's going to be able to chase it or catch it off guard. More barracks on the way. So Clem, and I think Showtime knows him pretty well. This robo play and just defensive style has successfully kept Clem at bay. And now, there's not much else he can do. He's just a little behind economic. Templar Archives. He's going to be rushing into, I assume, Storm. The Templar Archives is where it can be scouted. But, Jimmy, I don't... Well, yes. Very likely to be Storm, though a small chance of Archon charge lot timing. That 4th base is on the way. Does he have the gas? Of course he has the gases at the natural. I think just going for Storm in general, while it can be countered by EMP, it's very unlikely there will be ghosts, and therefore the EMP is ready this early on. So Storm begins, and we'll see if Clem allows it to actually make it all the way onto the field. There's no real opportunity to attack. He's got the triple threat in production, takes out the Observer. So Showtime now has to be very wary of any potential attacks. He doesn't know that Stim, Combat Shield, and +1 are not completed. He has to assume those things will be ready momentarily. So it is a dangerous moment as you're warping in the first Templar. It takes about 30-40 seconds before they're ready with their storms. Or have the energy to do so. Is he just gonna go for a storm drop outright? Yeah, 2 Templar loaded into the Prism. Headed up north. Clem has nothing to actually see this early on. Same time, though, The army's moving out. 1 Templar back at home to defend, so round 2 will begin. The Observer running away. Storm is completed. Massive storms. 9 SCVs dead. Most of the rest badly bruised. Warpy and a couple Zealots at home. And Clem, the Templar themselves looking to get some kills. Merges an Archon, dealing with this, and another storm. Back at home defensively. Zones out most of the army. The rest wading through it. Gonna need some healing there if possible. Shield battery overcharge to keep things intact. The medevacs have energy. Ideally, Showtime would jump on this, but 20 SCVs dead. Between the Archon, which has 17 kills. Between the combined efforts of its parents. Not really parents, I guess. Previous form. It's more like a Pokemon, or 2 Pokemon, than it is like a biological evolution. Moving on. The double drop heads towards the main, but Showtime has a 20 supply lead. This defensive style, and he's just allowed Clem to waltz into his base, which is always a dangerous game. The Archon drop made it back home. Did he use a recall for that? He did. He was kind of stuck behind the mineral line. But Clem just now taking his 3rd. Showtime is up 24 workers. Showtime is up 20 supply. And Showtime already has Storm with a Robo done, which means he can start a Robo Bay and complement his tech. So, if I didn't know any better, I'd say Showtime was ahead. Kills a medevac with units. And what do you mean you don't know any better? Well, it is Clem. So, it's a lot easier to defend with this sort of unit composition than it is to actually execute an attack. But right now, Showtime has almost every advantage. The only thing he's really missing are the upgrades. He just started his +1. Clem does have +1 infantry weapons done. If he can isolate small groups of the army, that's where Bio thrives. And a Storm to zone things out. A very clear Storm Prism as well, but the charge lots. Heading in towards the 3rd. Take down a few more SCVs. Not like Clem has that many in general. Gonna slice out another one. Offering it up. Oh no. The most obvious yet dangerous play, but here are the Templar! Wow, why is he waiting so long? Oh my god, that scared me. He's gonna lose one of the Templar, but the Storm's washing over everything! The medevac's just healing through it! He tanks the damage, he powers through, and he's tearing them up. Oh my. Somehow... Well, Clem survived that initial fight. Gonna try to drag the Widow Mines in with the charge launch. Eventually they'll be cleaned up, slicing up a couple more. Clem still down in workers, though, climbing back slowly. Showtime hasn't been building probes. He's at 66 workers, which is pretty much perfect 3-base saturation. In fact, I think he moved some of his probes to from his main to his 3rd, so he can transfer to a 4th base. But he's really pumping out units now. Showtime's done a great job of staying on top of that production. So, and he needs every single warp in on cooldown to compete with what Clem's sending across the map. You need more than enough. Yes, he has +1 finishing up. He's about to have Blink. In fact, quite delayed on the Blink. Just now, Clem is going for an armory in that 2nd engineering bay. But you cannot underestimate the power of the Bio Army, especially in Clem's incredibly and almost unthinkably fast hands. Showtime also giving him a run for his money. 430 APM apiece. Quite impressive for a Protoss. But Showtime always on top of it. And generally, Protoss don't build as many units because almost all of their units, besides observers and probes, cost 2 supply. So simply, you're not building as many units throughout the course of the game. Hopefully. If everything goes reasonably well. Which, well... Clem has survived. Oh, I love the hallucinated probes to clear out the minefields. And the storms. Triple storm. 3 Templar not... No, run. Run. Fly, you fool. Uh-oh. Oh, it's going to be real close. He gets out. The auto turrets on the high ground. There's a Raven over here. Will survive. Back over to the Ghost River. And speaking of ghosts... Clem heading across the map. Showtime's nearly maxed out, but Clem joining him momentarily. One more auto turret. Shield battery in a perfect spot to deal with it. 5 probes, 6 probes dead. And the army? I don't... does Showtime know about this? Clem spots it first. EMP feedback. They trade blows. There's some more ghosts on the back line, though. No easy vision for Showtime. Oh, besides that observer that's over everything, seeing the entire army at all times. But besides that, no easy... Clem realized it. And now... well, there it goes. More EMPs on the front line, but feedback's good on the ghosts. Chasing it down, charge lots chewing through. +2 ground weapons about to complete. Good Widow Mine hit, softens things up. Trying to pre-MP that Warp Prism, but he moves back with the Prism. He actually has Prism speed as well to be able to maneuver in and out of Viking range. Guardian Shield is completed. Gotta be very careful about those mines. But the Vikings overhead, dangerous, but not quite at the count of deadly yet. Showtime doing a great job keeping control of this very unwieldy army. He still has... oh my god, that Raven won't stop. EMPs as he comes around the corner, gonna lose one of the Colossi. If he has Templar in the Prism, he can't use it to juggle, unfortunately. Might be an argument for multiple Prisms. But still just chrono boosting out. Showtime looking for solutions later on in the game. But what else is left? The Fleet Beacon. Well, a Stargate. And then a Fleet Beacon. If we're gonna head that direction. But there's no Liberators right now. Though the addition of Disruptors may very well prompt it. But with no Liberators, there's really not any huge reason to go for the Stargate. The ground army is usually better. More storms coming in. More like storm time. And somehow that Prism has lived through all this. We'll make it to the corner of the map. And... but not much further. EMP'd and knocked out of the sky with the Templar inside. Meanwhile, the Raven continues. But now there's a cannon here. And both players are maxed out. We got a fusion core on the way for Clem as he works up towards that tier 3 tech. But I seriously doubt battle cruisers. But if he... one can dream. Snipe takes out a Templar. Honestly, feel like a pool noodle could take out a Templar, but Snipe will do it as well. Meanwhile, though, EMPs as he chases around the corner. Vikings cutting back over the top. Strip away the shields of both Colossi, but still doing okay. Another Disruptor shot, fade away. Forces Clem back, knocks out another couple Zealots. Going in for another round. Blinks up to the north side. Vikings trying to be taken out. Disruptor almost clips the Zealots on the way out, zoning out the rest of the army. Beautiful storm from the south side. Oh, wow. Lines up the whole firing squad to deal with it. Now, the Liberators are in production. Advanced Ballistics will be joining them momentarily. +2 ship weapons, which is that inflection point of upgrades. You're able to 2-shot Stalkers or 1-shot after EMP, which is a huge damage upgrade. Meanwhile, the EMPs catch Showtime between a rock and a hard place, but the Ghosts are actually caught in front, making them that much easier to take out. Disruptor shots will force the split. Ooh. And, well, Showtime having some trouble attacking in. Throws a storm onto the SCVs. One towards the front line. Disruptor shots follow it up. Another shot ready. Almost clips the sensor tower. There's a Warp Prism here. Liberators have yet to siege up. Now fixing that problem. Dodges back with the Ruptor. Showtime trying to duel it out. The Bio Army thinning. Disruptor, nothing. Another one. 0 for 2. Shaq at the free throw line. 3-3 on the way. For Clem. Already +3 weapons, working on +3 armor and +1 shields. The armor upgrades far prioritized. 1, they're cheaper, and 2, Zealots have way more HP. They have 100 HP and only 50 shields. So those shield upgrades... also, EMP exists. And, unfortunately, shield upgrades don't reduce its effectiveness. So for those wondering on why the... additionally, weapon upgrades scale. Like, I don't know the exact numbers, but, for example, Liberators get +5 damage or so from each weapon upgrade, whereas armor and shields only do +1. So, especially for a lot of Protoss units like Colossi and Stalkers, they get added benefit from those weapons. And generally, as a Protoss, you want to win the start of the fight as hard as possible. Because the longer the fight goes on, the more the attrition of Terran. With those medevacs and liberators, and just generally the ability to keep fighting, the harder it gets. Whereas shields only regenerate when you're out of combat. +1 flyer attack is on the way. Does he even have a Stargate? No, not yet. That observer gonna start slapping people. A great charge lot drop, though. Disruptor shot, trying to ward things off. The charge lots force the Liberators to siege up, and this is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to keep them busy. Well, another drop coming in. Blink gets the medevac. We'll clean it up. The War Prism in the main base. More charge lots on the way. No Dark Templar. Hasn't even gotten the Dark Shrine yet. Still upgrading +1 air weapons. Showtime looking to jump the army while he can. More Liberators across the field. He's got a dozen of them. Most of them at the front, but plenty of them back at home. Now zoning out, takes the wrong path with the Disruptor. And how many EMPs are left? There's 5 ghosts in total. Most of them with that army. Right on the edge of the Liberation zones. I don't know, Showtime. This is looking a little dicey now. Recalls out the Stalkers. Knocks out a few more Liberators. But a good angle from Clem now. The Storm softening up a lot of the bio, including the Ghost. Melting through even more. And Showtime holding his own, as Clem is maxed out, but without nearly as much money in the bank. Showtime's about to finish +1 air weapons. Still hasn't started that Stargate yet. We'll see if we get there. There it is. A wave of charge lots headed south. One Marauder in particular targeted. Oh, the snipe! He gets the shot and gets evaporated in turn. But the Liberators, a Venn diagram of freedom, covering these bases. We should be seeing the fleet beacon almost immediately afterwards. As Showtime, either Tempests or Carriers are likely the method. There's only so many. Every base is taken. There's not that many bases on this map at all. And right now, we're already maxed out on it. Less than 20 minutes in. The main base and the natural are modded out. Disruptors and Templar just can't get close enough. +3 ship weapons on the way. And there's the beacon. The fleet beacon is lit. And the Protoss on the ground call for aid against the skies. As the Liberators still zoning out so much of the map. There's really no easy way to deal with the Liberators except with things like Tempest. You can try to catch them out of position, but when they have 14 Liberators, there are few positions to be out of. As you can cover a appreciable percentage of the entire map with Liberators at once. EMPs. Those Archons stripped away. Disruptor dangerously close. Fires off a shot on the edge of Liberation range. And, no, Clem is annexing this base. That's not gonna happen. High-sec auto-tracking, building armor on the way. No, go around. Go, it's closed. All right, trespassers will be shot from above. The Liberators just creating such a wide array of danger zones. And now Clem with more gas in the bank. Showtime has 5,200 minerals, but almost no gas. He's building 2 Tempests, but the Liberation zones leapfrogging forward. More Disruptors. Hoping for something. More Storms. The medevacs are nearly out of energy. Did he get Caduceus Reactor? No. No medevac energy regen upgrade from Clem, which is a little lazy. It only costs 100. And the natural's just gone. The charge lots keep getting the damage done, but the Liberators are pushing forward. And Clem is giving no quarter, nor dimes, nor nickels. He's not giving up any of his prize money, let alone to Protoss, of course. But the Blink Stalkers find an opportunity, knocks out a couple Liberators. There's still 4 more on the back line. Disruptor shot splits the difference, parts the Red Sea. And now the Tempests are on their own, but the Ghosts are almost out of energy for EMP. Warps in another round of Zealots will be slowed down, but the destruction of the pylon, or of the Nexus, rather. There's still one zealot in the main, a Warp Prism at the back. I don't know how long it's been there. Trying to retake a Nexus. Showtime can afford to rebuild. Whereas Clem doesn't have that many minerals left. There are a dozen Liberators. He's got 69 LCVs, which is still a very nice economy for Clem, but he doesn't even need that many. He barely has any bases with which to mine from. Clem has taken the... Oh my. Technically, Liberators have an anti-air attack. And once you get +3, it's pretty okay, but still not great. No tectonic destabilizers, and Showtime can't afford that anti-building damage. The Zealots are trickling through. Quite a labyrinth of destruction here. As, good luck working through all these, but Clem shoots his own planetary for a moment. The Disruptors and the Templar, though. Liberator takes the wrong path. Still 11 Liberators, and he's added some Vikings in to deal more directly with the Tempest. Liberator's trying to hold this down. Just a no. Nope. That's gonna be a no. Tries to take out, but he doesn't quite have the he doesn't have the numbers to one-shot the Liberators. I think 6 is the number with +1. And there's no plating, but... Oh no, the Ghost snipes! It's cloaked in the midst of everything, and he has no detection! The Vikings wander forward, but the Vikings, historically and in StarCraft 2, hard countered by Storm. Another Disruptor shot. That Storm on the Vikings was massive, though. They've already taken so much damage, they need to be repaired at the back. Clem is starting to build up more and more of a bank. There's only so many resources left. Showtime has lost 1,000 more gas and 4,000 more minerals. And that's starting to add up, as again, there's only so many bases to work with. Showtime has mined out of 3 of them, working on 4. Clem's the same, but he's just been a bit more efficient. The Liberators finding an opportunity to siege up in the no man's land. Zealots in the main. Gonna maybe go target the, oh my. One Disruptor fires off a shot. Tempest getting some hits in. Those Disruptors kind of stuck out in front of everything. Another Disruptor. Both players have to dodge it. Storms. And we're splitting the difference again. But Showtime has just not been able to lay down the killing blow. The Liberator re-sieging. It's like, well, come and get me. He got 8 kills. He's still popping the probes. It's getting harder and harder to see Showtime. There was no moment where Showtime lost a critical fight. He's taken rough trades, but it feels like Clem has just locked down the map. And Showtime can't find any progress. There's only +1 air weapons up against the +3, +1 mech. And the Tempest. Showtime's had 200 supply with 20 more army supply. But somehow Clem makes it feel like he has twice as much. This base, one of the last mining bases, taken down. Showtime still has enough to rebuild, but it's concerning that we're even talking about that. Whereas Clem has so much in the bank. Gonna take out the Medivacs, which will leave the Bio Army behind. Picks off a couple Stalkers. Any Disruptors? There's still 5 Ruptors. A Templar gets a Storm onto the Vikings. Tempests are bruised, but mostly intact. In fact, he's only lost 2 Tempests so far. He's taken out 15 Vikings. 163 Zealots have died. Oh my. Clem on triple starport. This Sky Terran army. Well, this Battle Sky Terran. It doesn't really roll off the tongue, but between the Liberators and the Vikings, quite an invading force here. As Showtime again pushed down the ramp of his own base, and the EMPs, just, the Liberators are at half HP, just a couple amazing storms. And maybe he could turn it, but how many Templar are even left? There's Templar in that prism. There's only one with enough energy for Storm. Drives back the Vikings again. And Clem has knocked out the base. And now Showtime just doesn't have enough left over. He has to fight, but he's not in the liberation zones. The medevac, there's only one medevac left. The brawl continues. The Zealots really struggling to find an opportunity. The Vikings can hit the deck as well. But there's only that one medevac again. He's building 5 more. Tries to find the ghost. Still no Caduceus reactor. But Showtime's out of minerals, and he's out of gas. Both metaphorically and literally. He couldn't find it. That liberation zone. Oh, he was so close to the money shot. He clips a couple there. The army supply. God, they're so close to dying. The shield battery overcharge. Clem says I can just do this now. And Showtime probably doesn't think he has that much in the bank. But he's fighting it out. If this was all Clem had, if he had nothing in the bank, which is a lot to ask, but if it's all he had, then Showtime still has a fighting chance. But it's the economy, stupid. And now, well, Clem can lose this army and rebuild it. The Liberators will siege up. He's building forward turrets, a demonstration of his gratuitous wealth. And I'm not just talking about World Championship money. Showtime again with some great defense. But he's not nicknamed the Wall because of his pinpoint aggression. Just couldn't really find an opportunity. And again, and I don't think this game will end with a bang. But instead, watching the Protoss crumble. And not even a whimper. Not from the Protoss. Because, of course, they don't have mouths. I have no mouth, but I must balance wine. Well, the EMP is hit again. Disruptor popped. GG! Clem takes the game. Showtime put him onto the ropes. But he just couldn't put him down. A real tough one there. And it looked like he had a real shot, too. But you really... I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. It feels like you just can't kill him. He got the charge lots. He got great storms. But he never brought it together in time. I think the Tempest, a day late and $1 short. Still, though, a very good game out of Showtime, but par for the course for Clem. Game 2, Golden Aura. Clem with no respect. Or maybe a lot of respect, so he wants to end the game quickly. So Showtime gets put out of his misery. Oh. Jimmy, no. Yeah, that's right. It's Clem. Oh. Sorry. Like and subscribe so I can have competent help every once and again. Or, you know, like a therapist or something, maybe. Double gas on the way. Showtime is looking for it. And he's finding it.
Who does that? Shame. Shame. Shame.
But it isn't a Marauder proxy. It's just straight up Reaper. Oh my god, he's... Is he stuck? I don't know what happened. Wait, what? It's a wall! Both players are confused. Oh, Clem. Clever girl. Yeah. So, you can use the building to... Rarely is this used for Terran. You see it a lot more often with Protoss, which has a tendency to want to wall in their units. Like probes for cannon rushes and such. But using the refinery in order to teleport the SCV out. Well played. Bounces the probe. Oh, is he just gonna get a kill? Oh, that's... Reapers are the worst. And they heal. They heal right in the face of Protoss units, which can do nothing of the sort. Well, 2 Reapers. Orders of magnitude more dangerous than 1. bounces the Stalker around, just poking and prodding. It's going to be Robo again. I think the Robo really worked out for Showtime. It shut down Clem's inevitable aggression. It's just, like, I think almost any other Terran was dead there. I'm hard-pressed to think of anyone else that's going to survive from that position. Dealing with the charge launch and just getting the damage done. But Clem, just the damage control, the tourniquet he put on his natural. Quite literally, I don't know if Clem even retook his natural by the end of the game. He was just sitting, he just gave up a base. Well, he'll give up one arm, so cut off both yours. So. Warp Prism on the way. Oh god. Well, this is gonna get real weird. Why go blink when you can go ghetto blink with a prism? Well, I guess technically the prism is better blink because it doesn't have a cooldown. So, and you can warp and reinforce. Now this is gonna get super weird. Here we go. All right, up and downsies. And Clem realizes he's somewhat outmatched. And now we're gonna go our separate ways. Is it recall time? Immortal about to pop out. He's gonna dodge hits. May try to time it out. There is no recall. He's actually warping in more. No, he goes forward. Will Clem come back to defend? Siege tank. Big hit. Targets the center stalker to max the damage. But now Clem's coming back. Showtime finds a great timing here to show Clem. It's time to evacuate your natural. Well, let's see if Showtime has a greater follow-up than I did to that pun. Here come the Cyclones. Picks off a Marine. Siege tank still in range, though. He's trying to flirt with the very edge of it, but Showtime not... He doesn't have a third Nexus behind this, so it really feels like he's got to get damage done. There's no other tech right now. I mean, Clem doesn't have a ton himself, but using the shades for both scouting and to maybe keep him out of position. Oh, the Immortal's here. And that siege tank gets a hit, but he knows the very edge of the range. And without that tank, he moves it slightly down the ramp. Warp Prism at half HP, no shields. All right, Showtime backs off. Well, he kept Clem busy. I don't know if that was a net, a huge win there. Because Clem still has his production going. Showtime delayed the rest of his tech. He pretty much was just doing that Warp Prism aggression. He didn't kill a critical mass of SCVs. He didn't kill any of the tanks or medevacs. And he didn't have a third Nexus behind it. He's just now taking it. Clem doesn't know that there's a third Nexus yet.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Not right now, sir. But it's almost implied. I'm sure he's very well aware. Even the Cyclones are alive. So, Showtime not really carving out as much space as he would like for himself, but he does have Storm on the way and Charge in production. So, well, the Adepts, fancy meeting you here. Getting it very important to get a good scout on that Cyclone drop. That can kill an uncomfortable amount of probes, which is one or more, but they kill probes so fast. It's a bit disgusting. Charge is done. Storm will be completed by any sort of follow-up aggression. He'll have a fully operational Protoss splash damage force by the time the Terrans arrive. But is that going to be enough? Because Clem is clearly winding up. He's got 2 medevacs finishing. He's got Stim, Combat Shield, +1, triple threat, all done. And that means it's time to move out. There's no reason to sit back now. As, especially when he sees the Templar. You got 2 options. Go, or sit back and turtle the ghosts. And this is Clem. So he's gonna go. Now there are no did the medevac get taken down? Nope. Oh, he's gonna wait for the... Oh, he just storms it. Knocks it out of the sky with cyclones inside. Did the observer spot this army? Well, he knows it's there now. That Nexus, I don't think is gonna happen. There's a Marine on the other side. And the damage is gonna be coming out very quickly onto this base. Those siege tanks are jammed into position. Showtime a little late on the draw to try to box this out. He doesn't have the upgrades here. It's just +1 for Clem. But there's the all-important Warp Prism. He drags it over to the shield battery, but he gets it knocked out before he gets the Templar. Oh, no. The Immortals are still bashing through the tanks. Widowmines work both ways. Not able to get through. Maybe one storm? Ah! It's so close. He gets a storm on the way out. Oh, losing that prism just a split second before dropping out the Templar. Maybe he got one out? That hurts a lot. That was his card to play. And he ends up playing it, but... no cancel on the Nexus. Feels like Clem is very much in the driver's seat for this game. Whereas last time he was just trying to keep up. The Widowmine's taken out. Just now, Ghost Academy being added in. Showtime still holding. No Nexus there, no reason to come back in. Oh, look at Nexus. Targets it. No cancel. Showtime. I don't know what he was looking at, but that is several hundred extra. That's about 600 extra minerals now. On popping that base. Clem's now working on his 4th command center, whereas Showtime still can't get his. Oh, he's not going to have a command center, but he can't get his 4th base. The charge lot swinging in, though. What a great angle for Storm. Showtime agrees. Storms his way through, catches some of the zealots, but acceptable losses. Showtime knocks Clem down 10 supply. And now I think he can finally, relatively safely, get his 3rd. And Clem, been playing with Stormfire. Without the Ghosts, the Storm is a devastating option. With the Ghosts, it's significantly less so. But Clem overstayed his welcome on the other side of the map. Showtime finally found the angle. And he melted through. And here comes a triple drop, so Showtime has to decide. Am I going or am I staying? Because if I go, it's going to be trouble. But if I stay, could be easily twice as much. Meanwhile, the main base, completely undefended. We're going into a full-on base trade, it looks like. As I say at Showtime, oh, the Widowmines connect. Base trading at Terran is always a dangerous proposition. The main Nexus will fall. The SCVs were evacuated from Clem's 3rd. The 3rd base actually more important than the main economically at this point. Oh, loses the Warp Prism, but he gets the Templar out of it. Which, if you had to choose. Another insane storm! Oh, a tropical Showtime. And now Clem pushed back up his own ramp. Another storm could ruin him if he comes down at the wrong time. Meanwhile, Clem to the low ground. There's not enough gateway units here to defend. 1-1 versus +2 pulls the probes as well. Showtime zoning out the bottom of the ramp. That one Templar. How many ghosts? Where are the ghosts? On the other side. Clem is mining from his 3rd again. Showtime. He never killed those SCVs. The medevac's on the run. And Archons are battling. Another ghost comes out. The EMP is just stripping away those shields. There's one more storm ready. He's got to use it. Just do it. He sees the base has landed, but Showtime overstaying. There goes the Archon. Gets an Immortal and a Stalker out. Another medevac knocked down. Most of the units dealt with from that massive drop to the main, but Clem now has to float his main base. But he has 48 SCVs still. There's Templars scattered throughout. How many ghosts on the field? There are 5, but how many actually have EMP? Not nearly that many. Oh my, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 probes. On the way out, this Nexus will fall. The Bio Army's still so strong. Slight upgrade advantage for Clem, who is now going to be mining off 2 bases, such as it is. The Pylon Breadcrumbs, as he was somewhat gutted in his main. That's a lot of Clem's army supply is in medevacs right now. But if he's fighting, well, that's definitely worth it. Right now, Showtime has 20 Zealots, 2 Templars, 7 Stalkers. It's not a great army for fighting this bio. It comes down to the storms, and there's a lot of ghosts with plenty of energy here. There's only 1 Viking left to potentially take down the Prism, though. Showtime can't back up much further. Reinforcements come down. Where's the Prism? EMPs across the Zealots. That Prism is everything. Clem, I don't know if he spotted it or he's just anticipating it, but he knows that Prism is everything. Thing is, though, as time goes on, it gets easier and easier for Clem to just rebuild outright. He only has 2 orbital commands, and they're at neither of his first 2 bases. Showtime technically only has 2 Nexi as well, so is not doing so great himself. Quite a recession we're having from both sides. The charge lock counter. The bio. Just a couple of seconds later, it would have been perfect to deal with this. Unfortunately, Showtime doesn't have an observer to spot for him. He has an observer over the main army, though, which means he knows that Clem is coming in for another round, but that scan is big. EMP. Warp Prism softened up. Even 1 Viking is potentially game-ending. He knows the storms. He's pre-EMPing. Down goes the Prism. And if he loses those Templar, but the charge lots, a huge commitment out of Showtime. The charge lots swinging in again, chopping up a few of the Marauders. Clem is forced back. There's still a Robo, right? Yes. Clem down to 44 SCVs. He still has the army supply. Those Templar have been a menace, but not enough of one that Clem isn't still in pole position here. Showtime, again, has done a great job of keeping himself alive, but he just hasn't quite found the killing blow. A single Zealot. Gonna start working on some SCVs. A little bit of bio back at home. Another wave of charge lots. Observer spots all of this right now. Charge lots just staggering back and forth. Pulls back. Gonna try to catch a couple more. But Zealots in the 3rd as well as Clem continues to dip in the worker count. He's gonna try to catch the army off guard, rotating around to deal with these charge lots. And here we are. Another group of bio, but he's actually just going to jump the army. Blinkstalker's moving forward. Doesn't want to waste the Templar on this. More of the army's piling in. It's unclear who's flanking who. Big feedback. Gets 2 feedbacks on the Ghost. Doesn't get a Storm, but still very useful. So that's 2 out of 5 Ghosts negated. War Prism. Pre-Guardian Shield. It's the only sentry. No, not again! Shield battery overcharge. The EMPs, but there's still... Did he get feedbacks on all the ghosts? There's still 1 more at the back. The storms are good. He needs at least 1. That bio ball is far too thick. And here we go. Pushes the Archon into the fray, but it goes the wrong way. The Warp Prism dragging some away. Oh, but GG. Clem takes it home today. A great effort from Showtime, but Clem just able to pull it together too strongly. It's just too much. And that brings us into our bonus game. Yes. Mana versus Crank. StarCraft 1 versus StarCraft 2. Yes, they played some SC Evo matches. I'm looking forward to it. I noticed it. I didn't even realize they were having a little mini tournament going on, but... And some nostalgia here. We're going to merry-go-round. No, not the children's playground thingy, but instead the map from when most of us were a lot closer to children. Spawning as the StarCraft 1 Protoss. We have Team Liquid's Mana, Clem's teammate. Here on SC Evo, the mod that brings StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 together, custom models. You can check it out, and we have more games. And maybe we'll do some more standalone videos as well. But the mod that has taken Korea especially by storm. Especially by storm, because storm is so much better in StarCraft 1. So, StarCraft 1 units and tech are brought into SC2. A lot of the stats are adjusted, but the essence, the tech, the spells, the units remain the same. Alright, we'll see what Mana decides to do. Crank, the former SC2 Pro turned caster and part of Team... Go away. Probe's the most annoying. Mana, so polite, will proceed to go away. Reaper's on the way. And a relatively standard one-gate expand. I imagine the Goon Squad coming up next. We'll see if he goes for Singularity Charge for the Goon range. Meanwhile, Factory on the way. Dragoon in production. Reaper scouting. This is a 3-player map as well, which is quite a thing back in the day. Nowadays, we don't consider them nearly as balanced for multiple reasons that we can theory craft about as much as we like, but generally pro players kind of hate them. Having a 50% chance of just outright not scouting in time does not spark joy usually. But here comes the Reaper. Pokes into the main. And now he's gonna go for the probes. Gets one. Dragoon chasing. Waddling around, but... Oh, you're locked in! Stop right there! And he gets him. Where is my Reaper?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Heaven, says Mana. R.I.P. Satisfying to see it go down. I think Dragoon's a little bit better at killing Reapers, so I have nothing to back that up. We already got a shuttle on the way. Does he have a Robo Bay? Indeed. We're going to be seeing very likely a Reaver behind as Crank opting for Cyclones. Not surprising. Good counter to almost anything StarCraft 1 or 2 Protoss has to offer. Does he have enough for... I think it's still Gravitic Drive in Brood War. I'm not sure the name of the upgrade, but the inspiration for the Warp Prism Speed upgrade. Because Reavers are the Brenda of the Brood War. Well, Reaver loaded up. Personal chauffeur. Observatory done as well. Wow, that observatory model is sick. I don't know if that's custom or not. Many of these models are custom. Some of them are from the campaign, but they've been making a real effort to make custom models, like the Dragoon, for pretty much every unit. The shield battery, which has to be manually cast here, but Micro's well takes out one of the goons, or, I'm sorry, takes out one of the goons, but trades it for a Cyclone. The probes have to be pulled off the line. And the Dragoons should be able to take out the medevac. Gets it. Gets the Cyclone. Meanwhile, the Reaver unloading in the main. takes a shot from downtown, slams into the SCVs. A Liberator provides some anti-air. And lines up another hit. Slams 8 more SCVs. Takes out the tank. Terrible, terrible damage. Mana even trash talks during it. Get out of there. And he picks it up just in time. Oh, Mana. Wow. The trash talk. Protoss so easy. You can slip in trash talk between Reaver shots. Protoss SOS. Crank, despite the fact that in StarCraft 2 professionally he was a Protoss, embracing the true Terran mindset, which is whining about Protoss. Meanwhile, the Viking chasing the Reaver, but he's able to get out of the shuttle, maybe get a shot off, slams into the Marines, one more shot, no. Not one more for the road. 16 SCVs dead, the economy gutted by the Reaver. Observer seeing all this. Wow, this is, Mana. A generous donation to the cause. Only now adding on Tech Labs. Crank a bit late. Hey, did he cancel and build a reactor? He did. Finally getting everything together. What are you doing? He almost finished the tech lab, then just switches it over for the one on the starport. So, a bit of build indecision here. Whereas Mana is comfortably moving along. He's got his gateways spun out. I believe a Citadel, aka Twilight Council, aka Citadel. Okay, that was dumb. Is on the way. With the Zealot Legs upgrade. And then access, of course, to the Templar Archives, which gives you both flavors of Templar, if you're so inclined. Before the Great Schism. Actually, I don't think it was before, but let's not worry too much about that law. Gonna eat the tank shots with a Zealot. Not sure how successful that was, but the Reaver also doing a lot of damage. Oh, but the siege tanks ragdoll the Dragoons out of the way. They're blue. I don't know, is that blood? Hydraulic fluid? Tears? I like that one the most. Scattered throughout the field. There's a Reaver and a Goon in here. Fires it off. Obliterates fresh mules. The tank slightly... Oh my god! Oh, the scarabs chasing them to the ends of the earth. Not too many duds here. Doesn't actually have another scarab. And point blank range blasts a few more SCVs. The scarab's almost done. SCVs will begrudgingly repair the tanks. A dangerous game, though, that. The double medevac drop heading out. Quite optimistic. Gonna be knocked out of the sky. Another one will be able to boost away, but the damage is already done. The shuttle, with that Reaver waiting. And plenty of Dragoons and Zealots on the way, and he's just... Yep. Crink was waiting for it. Dodges the hit. Oh, the Goon's up to the high ground. Siege tanks blasting the point home. Observer on the way. Five more pilot. Mana's ground out quite a supply lead. Observer's taken down, but Crank has the best army he's gonna get. Plenty of siege tanks, a whole bunch of Marines, combat shield finishing. Oh, there's still Reavers out here, sharking around, looking for their opportunity, which is most of the time. Jumps out a Reaver, fires a shot around the corner. Just annihilating. Oh my god. But Mana setting up the surround. And, well, the siege tanks, but the zealots at the back. Marines will stem forward, but here comes Mana. There's Reavers as well. That Reaver may break the back. Fires off a Scarab. Obliterates the Marines. They go flying. The Medivacs do. Craig hits him with the bad game. For you. But the trash talk is real. This was just a friendly match on the side. They know each other so well. Or maybe Crank is just a dick. I don't know. You make your choice. But hopefully you enjoyed the anti-spoiler StarCraft Evo bonus. You can play it on the extension mods in SC2 alongside a ridiculous amount of other stuff. I'm looking forward to trying out the Warcraft 3 versus StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1 mod. Because, of course, Warcraft 3 is in StarCraft 2. But also now you can just play again. Anyways, maybe next time. But thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. If you got the means and motivation, it'd be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But otherwise, I hear liking and subscribing is still free. At least for now. So, hopefully I made your day just a little bit better. I hope to see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you for watching. Stay chill.